So all too often, people go to the doctor's office for minor medical problems to try to solve them, but what happens is it's way too expensive, and some people aren't even insured. And in 2019, it was reported that about,
Go ahead and use the
my
microphone.
phone is too quiet, okay.
Just hold it away from your
There,
mouth
that's
a little bit.
About $1,100 in out-of-pocket medical costs, even if you're insured, and that's not even for the people that aren't insured, out-of-pocket costs. So that's all related to doctor's office visits. And about 17% of people who have medical problems decide not to go because of the cost, and it's just a big problem to go to the doctor's office. And so why I created this project is because, I went to the doctor's office because I had a medical problem at home. I was bit by a brown recluse and I got MRSA, but I wasn't aware of it. I thought it was just like an ingrown hair or something weird, and I didn't have a problem at the doctor's office. The problem was I just had no clue what it was at home because I didn't have a way to diagnose it. So I wanted to create a project that can assist people who are avoiding the doctor's office due to cost and to provide a doctor's office visit at home. And the way to do this is you have to have medical application of artificial intelligence. It's been proven in the past. There's projects being created right now to analyze ear infections with artificial intelligence, even for coronavirus using chest CT scans, and artificial intelligence used for military smartwatches. It's used to track trends in infection, and by using this, there's just many ways to improve like doctor's visits. It's too expensive. And so this is my rough creation of the cardboard over there, but it's similar to a Game Boy, because the main idea is that it's simple to use at home. So there's a camera, and you can take photos to analyze. It's not completely, you can't just trust the pictures, analyzations of pictures, but because there's diagnostic tests too, but it can also give descriptions of illnesses that you could be inflicted with, and give direct contact to a doctor. And while this has been used with like Teledoc or Zoom, this is being included and at a much cheaper cost. So here's some, I think this is a laser pointer. So up here you have the description of what you have of MRSA there. And there's like the navigation button, there's the logo. So like just very, very simple to use. Here's everything it includes, got obviously a logo, LCD screen. It's made very compact, it's got a microphone, everything included. And not too expensive. And now the testing kit, it comes with testing strips to like prick the fingers for blood testing at home. Not very costly. You got swabs for your throat for like streptococcus infections. And you also have swabs for like skin, like if you have a bug bite or a skin scratch on the surface. And it was a starting kit, comes with, then when you purchase the device, comes with these diagnostic tests. So. And here's some examples. There's where you prick your finger, there's the cotton swab, and there's the one for the throat. So as far as cost goes, it's going to be about $90 for the starting kit, not too much. Comes with the device, and it's a one-time purchase, and it saves so much money on doctor's office visits that you wouldn't get it. And it comes with at-home tests and everything, and I will explain how the visits go too. Here's some list of specific illnesses. Got influenza, of course. MRSA, like I said before, even in my situation, bacterial skin infections, ear infections, mononucleosis. So the first step in the creation of the device is you have to create the device, like make it very, very simple. That's what I've said before is the most important part. And then you can merge in the database. The database is something that will take months to create. You have medical professionals providing accurate tests on people to ensure that at home it works on its own too, instead of always having to go talk to the doctor. And one of the things too is we have doctors on staff instead of we're not taking away people's visits because we're providing a cheaper option at home. And that's very, very important, not taking away people's business. And the testing strips provided will be helpful to the doctors, not just you, to get an accurate test. In conclusion, after careful analysis, it's apparent that PortaDoc, my company, will be very beneficial to the medical world, and artificial intelligence can be very, very beneficial, not just in diagnostic testing, but trends in infection too. Here's some of my sources.
So my company is called Keep It On Track, and my product is called the Kiat. The Kiat is a wristband that's marketed for women, and it tracks their menstrual cycle based on their basal body temperature and heart rate. The Kiat is linked to the Keep It On Track app on your phone, and it collects data and sends it there to give you notifications for when you're about to start your menstrual cycle. So I noticed a problem in the way that period tracking apps work because they exist, but they're only based on averages. So if a woman were to not have a very accurate menstrual cycle, then it would not work for her. So women who cannot predict their periods accurately have a lot of frustration that comes with that, and it's something that they can't really predict it, so it's a struggle for them. So I knew that there had to be a solution to this, and probably a simple one. So for most of my life, I've known that I wanted to be an OBGYN, so I wanted my project to tie in with that, to correlate with that. So I chose something that had to deal with the female reproductive system. And so I've learned a lot about the female reproductive system and organs with this project, and it's been very interesting to me. So when a woman is about to start her menstrual cycle, her basal body temperature drops to about 96 to 98 degrees Fahrenheit, and then after ovulation it goes back up to 97 to 99 degrees Fahrenheit. This is all based on the progesterone levels in the body. Whenever they drop, that is what causes the body temperature to drop. And so the Kiat can track that temperature drop, and that's how it can detect whenever the menstrual cycle is about to begin. So also, whenever a woman is about to start her period, her heart rate will increase about 2 beats per minute. Obviously, this would only work if the woman is if she has a resting heart rate. But whenever it detects that, whenever the progesterone levels drop and the estrogen levels rise, the mix between those two things cause the heart rate to increase. And after that happens, the Kiat can detect that, and that is another indicator that a woman is about to start her menstrual cycle too. So I created a prototype. Kind of have it here, probably hard to see, but there are 2 sensors on the back, and that is what detects the heart rate and the basal body temperature. So you wear it on your wrist, and it takes your radial pulse and then your temperature as well. And that all links to an app on your phone. It sends data there and sends you notifications through that. So this is another example of what the prototype looks like, and it comes in multiple colors depending on the person. So this is kind of, let's see if this works, okay. So this is an example of what you would see on your app. So in the green are the days before the menstrual cycle, and then the green over here, those are the days after the menstrual cycle. So in between here, you can kind of see this is based on basal body temperature. There's a drop right before, and then it goes right back up at the start of the menstrual cycle. And that's kind of what the wristband is looking for to detect the menstrual cycle starting. So in conclusion, I believe that the Kiat would solve a lot of problems for women and ease a lot of frustration. It's something that can be very difficult, and something that there really should be a solution to this problem, and kind of surprising that there isn't so far. And so that's why I came up with this idea. Thank you.
Hi, I am Kylie Davis, and I am in Ms. Pringle's Project Lead the Way class for Biomedical Innovations, and this is my innovation. So at the beginning of the year, we were given the opportunity to come up with a new medical innovation to help improve the medical community. And so I thought back to when my sister had my niece, and she was born too early, and so she was taken to the NICU, and that destroyed my sister. She did not get to hold her in her arms. She got basically ripped out of my sister's arms and wasn't allowed to connect with her. So the need for my innovation is whenever a baby is born premature, they are taken to the NICU and they're not able to connect with their mother. And that affects the baby and the mother at the exact same time. They are not able to have the skin-to-skin contact with each other, and I mean, you're carrying a baby for 9 months and you don't get to hold her or him. So I came up with my company's name. My company's name is Thrive, and this is called Product Thrive. So my invention is an iPad that is connected to the incubators in the NICU, and basically the mom will get a watch that records her heartbeat 24/7, and it plays for the baby in the NICU. And the mom can talk and sing lullabies and stuff to their baby while they're not able to see each other. And this allows the mom and the baby to connect. Whenever the mother is released from the hospital but the baby isn't, they are given that watch immediately, and whenever their baby is released, the mother returns the watch, and the watch is included with the NICU care payment. The iPad also connects automatically to any cellular data plans around in case Wi-Fi or network goes down. So this is the screen on the iPad that's connected to the incubator, and obviously it has like the baby's name and everything like that. And the mom can actually read her vital signs and see her. And then this is what the watch will look like. So some people say that a baby being in the NICU does not affect them in any way, which is a lie, because 5% of babies born in the NICU are more likely to have intellectual or disability developments, and 50% are at greater risk of death within the first few years. And this is all due to the disorganized attachment to their parents and the low birth weight. So in conclusion, my innovation will help mothers and babies connect and bond whenever they don't get to be with each other. And I would like to thank Ms. Pringle and all my Project Lead the Way teachers for helping me and encourage me through the whole entire years.
So my name is Patient Adams, and I'm part of the Project Lead the Way. And she asked me to come up with an innovation, and let me tell you, it was kind of hard. She's like, "You have till Christmas," and I was like, "Okay, I have till Christmas." And Christmas came, and I still didn't have my project, and I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And so finally, I came up with the decision of, that makes sense. I finally came up with the idea of Color Me Healthy. So Color Me Healthy is a beaded bracelet that will be able to detect the body's nutritional level, and without having to go to doctor's office and urinating on a pH strip. With advanced technology, Color Me Healthy is able to measure a person's vitamins, protein, carbohydrates, and water intake. So with this purchase, you will be able to connect your devices with this bracelet. So this device will be able to do, able to tell you what you need to eat, what you need to cut out, and pretty much anything that you need. And it's going to tell you a healthy way to do it. Then go to the doctor's office. And even if it's too high, it's going to alert you to go to the doctor's office. So before I tell you how my product works, I have to explain to you this humongous word. It took me a long time to figure it out. It's called photoplethysmography. Photoplethysmography. And so this is used to measure changes in blood volume and in different parts of the body. So like blood clotting, how much air your lungs hold, and any erectile dysfunctions, and here's another big word, I'm so sorry, atherosclerosis, right? Atherosclerosis. Oh, I'm still not gonna say it, I'm so sorry. But, so how my product works, well, if this stuff was there, how my product works. Okay, so by using this, we are able to detect the blood volume through skin contact and are able to determine the health of each blood cell. So blood already absorbs light, except for red because it is a red blood cell. But when blood absorbs this light, we are able to see wavelengths. And usually wavelengths you can mostly see this like in Fitbit watches or Apple watches, and they're used to measure heart rate and like your BPA, like it will give you your heart rate. But I wanted to use it to measure like your nutritional level and anything that you may need. Oh, it didn't change. No, oh, did it change? I'm so sorry. I'm out of mess. Sorry. Green light. Oh yeah, in Color Me Healthy, we'll be able to use the green light, just like Fitbit watches and Apple watches. And okay, so to go over more depths of what my bead would look like, my bead would be three different layers. So that this first layer is going to be a transparent base, and each bead would be 10 millimeters in size. And this will allow users to like see the information that they're getting. And so the second layer is going to pretty much be the absorption of light. So that's where the photopath isomography is going to be. And it's going to be set up all around the beaded bracelet. So because we all know beads shift around your wrist, so if it does shift, you'll be able to still get your nutrition level. And that second one is going to be that third one is going to be relay of information. And so that's going to send signals to send a lighter or darker color, and I will explain that more in the next slide. And that little, that little line right there, if I can point, that's going to help send signals back and forth from the center to the outer course. Okay, so nutrition is already hard to say, so how the user is going to know their own poor nutrition? And so we're going to do it by color coding. My bracelet is notifying the user of nutritional by high or low. So the darker the color, the higher the level of nutrition, whereas the lighter the color, the lower the nutrition. Each section of the bracelet will be its own different nutritional level and nutrition, so it will help his or her monitor their own nutrition. Okay, so with my innovation, I had to come up with some questions they wanted us to ask. And so I had to come up with the questions of spending, like how many person spends on a doctor visit, vitamins and minerals, and what my heart-related problems with my device. And who is most affected by poor health, and who is mostly benefiting from my innovation. And so I came up with the conclusion that this graph right here shows that the greatest generation, meaning the people from the Great Depression, are most likely to buy vitamins and minerals, and the people like my generation, the millennials, they are most likely not buy it. And some of us say that's a good thing, but it's really not a good thing, because as these numbers steadily decrease, doctor visits are steadily increasing. Okay, so the next slide shows the average money spent on doctor visits. In 2020, the average national cost of health insurance was $456 for an individual, and $1,152 for a family per month. So if you calculate that times 7, you're spending up to $8,000. And so with this, why is nutrition very important? A lot of universities and medical centers analyze national health and nutritional examination of surveys. They did a survey and showed, took 700,000 deaths in 2020 that was related to heart disease, heart strokes, type 2 diabetes, and 10 dietary facts like sugary drinks, processed meat, and sodium intake. And they showed that 40% of those deaths were related to heavy eating and bad dieting. And as we may think, dieting is not important, but dieting is very important to our coronary heart. So, yeah. So in conclusion, Color Me Healthy is I'm totally off track. Color Me Healthy is a beaded bracelet that is able to detect the body's nutrition, and with this, we are able to pretty much give the user a faster and more efficient way of getting what they need. And it's non-invasive, and it's a buy one product, so you don't have to keep on buying pH strips or going to a doctor. Oh, and she wanted me to show you it. Sorry. And this is what it's going to look like. I know it looks so simple, but it's awesome. So, yeah.
I'd like to
I'm Caleb.
I'm Randall.
And I'm Joey.
And our company is Influx. Name of our device is OmniTrack.
All right, so according to the New Yorker article, people tend to misplace around 200,000 items throughout their lifetime, which obviously results in a huge loss of time and money. Now, the goal of our product is to essentially give people some aid on finding products that they lose. And there obviously are products in existence that do serve a similar purpose, but a limitation with many of those products is that they tend to only give you a general location, like the Find My iPhone app. So one feature that our product has that essentially gets rid of this limitation is that it has built-in LEDs that shine very brightly, and it also has a built-in speaker that basically makes a buzzing sound at a high enough decibel that it can be heard from a very long distance. And the LED feature in particular can be especially beneficial to nearsighted people.
Yeah, people like me, I wear glasses, and because of my style choices, they're clear. Dropping them literally anywhere on any light rug or carpet or outside, if I had a tracking device like such, it works off of GPS global tracking systems. And in rural areas, especially like this, it'll get you within 10 feet, 20 feet. It's not localized. So a product like this, put it on my glasses, put it on my belt, I can find it pretty much anywhere within that 20 feet. And it's just greatly assistant, and I wish I would have had it earlier. Would have come in handy a few times.
So the first device here, out of the two that we have, is the tag or the receiver. And the way our original idea, we planned on having it connect to a mobile app through Bluetooth, which is the first communication method we had into consideration. And another communication method that Mr. Carrot helped us come up with was radio frequency. And
basically the radio frequency, the transponder, and the emitters would coincide with each other within a certain mile radius that would talk to each other just like how our radios talk to each other, but on a much smaller scale. So you big radio towers outside that transmit the songs that you listen to in your car. Same thing in principle, just really small for us.
if you could go back to this slide. Yeah, so with our original idea, how we wanted to connect it to a mobile app or a phone. So other products out there, they already have they're pretty much similar to what we originally thought. And so, because the way the receivers connect to the phone, if you would lose your phone, there would be no way to track the tag or the receiver. And we want to make a separate device, the remote, which is on the next slide. And with this, this is where we use the radio frequency. And so we have the transmitter connect to the remote, and then the receiver connect to the tag. And the functions for it, so as you can see the buttons on the remote, they would correspond to there would be 5 tags in total, and they would each correspond to each one. Whatever button you press would...
Do you want to plug in the transceiver? We actually do have a prototype of this product. I burnt out a few of the circuitry, so it doesn't work right now, but we have this basic model displayed right over here.
So this would be... The light would have to be flashing. This is supposed to be the remote. This would be the tag. And the LEDs on this breadboard are supposed to be flashing, but since the receivers, the part that got burned up, we couldn't really get it, so all we did was just make sure that the lights work. The speaker, we do not have that on us, but since it's plugged in right now, the speaker would be going off at the same time with it, and that's just a quick visual that would help you out.
The hardware and physical aspects was more of my portion. I assembled all of that. We used a lot of different electrical components that took me a solid 3 days to research and gain a basic understanding of, and it sucked. The RF receiver, the 9-volt batteries, LEDs, we all know these things. We all use them in our everyday practice, just don't really care to think about them too hard. And there was a lot of struggles that came with this. These things right here, they're resistors. They take certain voltage and amperes down to a level that can be used in more practical terms. Like the LED light that's on the camera right there, it is running off of less power than the rest of the camera itself. And if you were to use the actual power from the battery, that bulb would explode. So I had to worry about not blowing myself up through this project. So different materials that we use. We have a speaker that we pulled off of a old Arduino board, decoders, different connecting wires, 4,700 ohm resistors, 470 ohm resistors, and a 1 mil ohm resistor. And this is more parts. This product right here, the voltage regulator, is how I burnt out the receiver right there, because I was running it parallel instead of through series of that resistor. Parallel is running with, whereas series is running through. And I was running that with that when that was supposed to be running to that. And I burnt it. Like they said, this was supposed to be a localized tracking system that kind of helped in the short range of finding things, and its main applicability would be in home use. So your primary would be on the wall, on your light switch, like, oh wait, forgot my mask. Click a button, boom, found it. Easy. These are our sources, and I'd like to give a special shout out to Mr. Gurley for helping us, as well as Mr. Bradfield and many other resources that we use to compile our parts and our information.
We are the Posture Keepers, and we have your back. My name is Christopher Anderson.
And I'm Anthony Dooley.
And we have our third member, David Fiskus. He was not able to join us tonight. Woo!
All right, so we're a group of engineering students enrolled in the PLTW course, Engineering, Design, and Development. And we're tasked with the solution of finding the problem, or finding
Finding a problem to a solution.
Yeah, finding the problem to solution, yeah. All right, so the National Chiropractic Association states that students involved with percussion instruments in marching band can develop acute back pain. And according to the National Institute of Neurological Disorder and Stroke, 20% of untreated back pain may become chronic.
So the main focus of the area of where the back pain is becoming chronic is going to be in this L1 through L5 region of the back. That's just going to be your lower portion of your back where it starts to concave in.
All right, and then the specifications is, like, our target customers are mainly high schoolers and some college students, like some post-secondary schools. And our priorities are customer needs, compatibility, product life, and durability, because we don't want it to fall apart, of course, in like a year of using it, and for it to be environmentally friendly.
So with our research that we did with the back, we talked to Dr. Carlson, who is over here, right here. He works with the Carlson Chiropractic Association, and what we talked to him about is the different positions that your back is in versus when you're holding weight. So one of the main things that we took from our conversations with him is that your back is at its optimal position or strength when it has the concave position in it. So when you're standing in the proper position, your back has its curve in it. And when you have weight in front of you, the natural tendency for a human is to bend backwards. So what we're trying to do, based off of these two positions here, is trying to keep this back in the proper position of staying bent backwards right here, versus when it's being pushed backwards when you're being leaned against. So like I said before, we're focusing on our L1 through L5 region, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to prevent the spinal cord from being pushed onto each other with the discs. So this is part of our survey that we took with high school students that experienced some back pain. So as you can see here, we had everyone that took the survey had some type of back pain. There was none of it that had none at all. So there is actual back pain that is prevalent in students of the high school age. So what we're trying to do is prevent from that back pain to become chronic by the time they become adults. And this part of the survey is where is the pain located. So surprisingly that the surveys showed that most of the pain was located in the lower back, but we also had a close runner-up of in the upper and middle part of the back, which is where the harness sits on the percussion students themselves.
All right, and then the application, so we would gain information from past and current percussionists, and then we would talk to the professionals, so Dr. Carlson, we would talk to him, and then we'd research the current back devices to help relieve some of that pain and apply that to our new testing rubric and hopefully make a better product.
So as you can see here with these positions of the individual members of the band program, right here is the drum line, and as you can see with this arrow pointing towards the lower back, the human is bending back at this position. When you're doing that, your back is in its least optimal position, and their spinal cord discs start to crush each other in the L1 through L5 region. And what we're trying to do is turn this person from standing backwards, from trying to counteract the weight of the drum, to standing more like the drum major, where they're perfectly standing up more straight and where their back has the curve in it. So these are the already existing products that we took our idea from. So the first one is going to be the ABS Mono Pasto holder, and what it is this device here, and where it goes on the upper part of the back. Yeah, it goes right here on the upper part of the back. So what it does is it keeps your shoulders, the weight off your shoulders, but it does not prevent the back of the lower portion being protected. And that's where most of the pain and issues is coming from, is from the bottom of the back. The next part is the drum belt. So what is the drum belt? Is a belt that was created by a college student in a medical class for innovations to keep the lower back in the proper position. But the issue with it is that it's a strap, it's a single strap that goes around the hips and then through the back, and it does not keep your lower back in the proper position that it needs to be in because it's not wide enough and it's not fit to the back shape.
And I did want to add that when I was researching it, it looked like that they discontinued the product actually because it didn't work too well, because I didn't see it for sale anywhere at all.
And then our last product that we researched is going to be the Pearl Airframe harness. And what that is pretty much taking the original harness, and instead of making it out of aluminum, it's going to be made out of the carbon fiber tubing. And then it also has incorporating the drum belt through the back side that goes through the back. But it's only created for that harness, so you have to buy that particular harness in order to get the back brace. And so what we're wanting to do is create something that you could add to any harness that would be universal. So this is our prototype design. What we did is that we took the design from the ABS Mono Pasto and we pretty much inverted it. We put it to where it would fit in the lower portion of the back, and that way it would keep your back in this proper position. So what this is made out of for our prototype, it's made out of floral foam and fiberglass. And so we tested it with the shape and then the design. And so what it does is it keeps your back in its proper position versus the ABS Mono Pasto, which only holds and supports your shoulders. And now to our final design, we kept the same design and we turned it into wood, and then that way we could start testing it and actually developing our product and testing this. So I'm going to put the harness on Anthony so you can see what the natural tendency of the human is when they have the drum on versus without and with the brace on.
You're going to put the drum on first so you can see how my back will go. So right now, since the weight is now distributed towards there, instead of in my center of mass, I have to lean back to keep it steady and balanced, just to stand in place too. So especially while walking, you'll definitely want to keep doing this or you're going to be unbalanced when you're walking.
And as the person is in this position, you can see that his lower back is being pushed back like this, which causes the spinal cord to crush itself. And what we're trying to do is prevent that, because after your spinal disc are crushed, you can't replace them, you can't get it back. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put this brace in here, and you can tell the difference in the position. So now with this back brace in place, he doesn't have to have the natural tendency to lean back. What it actually does is it helps prevent you from doing the leaning back motion because of just human anatomy of how people react. So what this does is it helps keep your back in its proper position, so that way the spinal cords aren't crushing each other and the disc aren't being flattened.
And then I did want to add, so before he put it on me, most of the pain was down here in the lower back, and then now most of the weight is up on my shoulders instead of actually being down here. And then right here, it just feels like the pressure of the belt, just so it's not in pain.
So when we did our testing, what we did is we did two separate testing. Two separate testing styles. So the first style was we took the percussion instrument and the harness with the brace just standing. So what this would represent is someone would represent a percussionist standing there with just the dead weight with the drum on. And then we did another test for 10 minutes. We did another test of them walking. So it would represent the marching style of a percussionist. So that way you get two different tests of either just standing there with all the weight on or walking with the weight. And we can tell a difference when you're walking versus when you're just standing.
All right, and then let me see. So I made these graphs. So the first graph is the pain while walking, and we did experienced, inexperienced drummers and male and female. And then you can see it's not too much, but you can see that the experienced ones actually have a little bit higher because they've actually had some acute back pain from not having the proper arch in their back and actually crushing their discs. And then especially, oh wait, that was while walking, sorry about that. But then while standing, it definitely is increased while standing, and you can definitely see that there is a major improvement with our
With the brace.
with the back brace.
So now our next step in our process is that we're going to be working with AutoCAD Inventor, and what we're going to do is we're going to test different materials making our product. So the harness that the ABS is already made out of currently is ABS plastic, and that's what we're wanting to develop our harness part to be out of, so it's already matched with the rest of the products that are out there, and it already matches the harness itself and not made out of wood. And so what we're going to do is we're going to test our different materials, and then we're going to work alongside with more ergonomic professionals. So our cost analysis, we developed, our prototype cost us about roughly $83 to $84, and that was with the floral foam and the fiberglass. And so our other products ranges are going to be from $80 to $90. That was the drum belt. That was just the drum belt without the harness. Or you had the higher end was the harness with the ABS posture keeper in the top. And then our resale for our product is going to be about $86. We wanted to keep it in the ballpark of the same thing from the already existing products. And it would be a separate attachment, not part of the harness itself. So that way it would be cheaper than buying a whole new set of harnesses for an entire band. And that way it would work better for other people.
And then I did want to add that when I was researching that the other harnesses that you had to buy completely separately that were made out of the carbon fiber, they were about like $300, $350.
So our next step with our design process is we're going to talk with Dr. Carlson and more ergonomic professionals. We actually had our meeting close before school got out, and that he actually was impressed with how it fit in the lower back, And with our engineers, when we did our presentation to them, they were very, very, very ecstatic of how the shape fit to the lower back. And so the only thing that we want to improve on is to make our wings on the bottom wider, so that way it can help support more weight. And then we also developed a website that if you'd like to go and visit, it's our website for more about our information on our product. Thank you.
Alexis Henry, please come on down. You earned it. Kylie Davis, please come on down. Not only did Kylie and Patience, I had the other kids 2 years, and these two young ladies took both the Project Lead the Way classes in 1 year. So they did their 11th and 12th. Yeah, and she was by herself when we did the AB days, and so we got to work one-on-one, which was very nice. Derek Drowns. You're gonna have to bend over. There you go, bud. I gotta give you a hug. Patience Adams. Come on over here. Let me give you that so you know that. I gotta get over that. Beautiful hair deal. There you go. That's you. And Aiden Boydston, come on down. Here, I'm going to that. I want to poke you in the eye with that. There you go, sir. Give me that.
Ms. Anderson?
Caleb. Joseph. Randall. Anthony Dooley. And Christopher Anderson.
All right. I'm fortunate enough I've had most of